What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, it's been a long time, right? It has been a long time. It feels like it. It feels like it's been a long time. And I was about to like randomly quote a song, but I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, thanks for joining. We got a lot to talk about. WNBA CBA stuff. We got Audi Crooks being Audi Crooks. We got LSU dropping 100 points left and right. And we have, in my opinion, the best tournament in women's college basketball. That and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning. So, let's get it.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Looked like I did have a little bit of an audio issue. All right, we are back. We are back. I hope y'all are excited about it, okay? Tulip says the last Quit in the Morning, I was telling people not to sleep on Texas. Now they woke up. Yes. Let's get into it. So, what a week that was last week. Guys, last week I was in the building in Las Vegas for the Players Era tournament. And I gotta tell you, it felt like watching the NCAA tournament, like late in the NCAA tournament, like towards Final Four type of realm, besides Duke. Besides Duke, it was like Final Four level competition. And when I tell you, Texas came into Las Vegas walking with some confidence and acting like they were contenders. And they walked out of Vegas proving that they might just be one of the most complete teams in the country. And if you weren't paying attention before, well, you better be paying attention now. You better be like Tulip and be paying attention now, because what a tournament for Texas. Texas came into the week at number 4 in the country, and they proceeded to take down not just the number 3 team in the country, but also the number 2 team in the country as well. And it leads me to wonder, is Texas going to be the new number 1? I mean, you take down the number 2, number 3, and the number 1 hasn't played as tough of competition. I mean, do you get to move up? I mean, possibly. Possibly. Actually, I would argue yes. I would argue yes. So actually, let's get into it. Let's talk about the 2-day tournament that felt like a Final Four. All right. And it was a lot of money on the table for the tournament. Big time pressure in November. And when the smoke cleared, when the dust settled, stuff shifted a little bit when it came to the narrative of women's basketball. Texas is for real. South Carolina is still sorting out who they are. UCLA is talented, but pretty vulnerable. And Duke, well, they're just going full speed ahead in the wrong direction. Let's talk about it, okay? So Texas, as I said, I do believe they're the real deal. They in my opinion answered every single question that I had coming into this week, or coming into last week. They had back-to-back wins over UCLA and South Carolina, 2 top 5 teams, like two with also 2 totally different styles of basketball, right? UCLA and South Carolina, they don't play the same type of basketball. They don't. And the Longhorns were able to handle them both. And specifically, it's the girl on the screen right here, Rori Harmon. Rori Harmon has taken full control of this team And I just got to tell you, it's fun to watch Rori Harmon play, especially considering the fact that if y'all remember, what was it? Not last season, but the season before that, Rori Harmon went down. She had a season-ending injury. It was during Madison Booker's first year. And Madison Booker had to take over the point guard role for the rest of that year. And we see her come back last year. But I tell you, this year, it seems like Rori Harmon is just clicking on all cylinders. And I got to admit, guys, I mean, so people gave Vic Schaefer the side eye when he was like, "Oh, this is the best point guard in the country." And I tell you this much: she is playing like an elite player right now. Absolutely playing like an elite player. Rori Harmon played every single minute in the tournament last week. This is a Texas team that, in my opinion, is not that deep, especially at the guard position. Rori Harmon played all 40 minutes against UCLA, leading the team, 26 points, 5 assists, really was the emotional leader in that game, right? She was in my opinion, the number one defender in that game against UCLA. And also, yes, Rori Harmon is an elite flopper. She is. And like some people take that as an insult, like, oh, I'm insulting her. No, there's just some players who just are floppers. And Rori Harmon is. It works. She sells calls. Sometimes she sells obvious calls, but still, she sells them. She's successful at it. And I guess, hey, shout out to her for doing that. But not only was Rori Harmon playing elite defense, she was scoring and just doing a little bit of everything to help her team take down UCLA. And I tell you, part of the reason why Lauren Betts was ineffective in that game against UCLA is because of the way Rori Harmon was guarding the guards. It was very difficult for Kiki Rice and others to really do anything on the offensive end because of the defense that was initiated by Rori Harmon. Okay? And then we go to the South Carolina game where Rori was doing everything but scoring. Right? She was getting her teammates involved. She was still playing defense, and like she was doing everything she could but score. She was pretty inefficient against South Carolina. But when it comes to big shot takers, they're going to take the big shot. Time was winding down. This was a game that it was like back and forth. It felt like it was South Carolina's to win, but then they started missing a boatload of layups. Had to have been more than at least 7 or 8 layups missed. Especially in that first half, it was pretty bad. And then in the fourth quarter, multiple missed free throws. And it went down to the wire where Rori Harmon, time was winding down, makes the bucket of probably her career so far to ultimately win the game for Texas, taking down South Carolina. Now, in that game, Rori did not, in my opinion, have the best offensive game. Yes, she was doing a good job passing the ball, doing a good job taking care of the ball, but like her shot was off. But it didn't matter. Didn't matter. Vic Schaefer trusted her to have the ball in her hands, and what did she do? She made the bucket. And also, she did break Texas's all-time assist record last week as well. So shout out to Rori Harmon, an amazing two-way point guard. Here's the thing. She's a bit on the shorter side, and that's something that can't be helped. But she's doing everything she possibly can to ensure that she does get drafted into the WNBA. And then, of course, Madison Booker, plays like she plays. Like this is a female KD, right? This is a mid-range assassin. Didn't have the best of games, but she, made big buckets when it mattered the most. And her and Rori, dog, they're fun. They're fun to watch. They're disciplined. They're physical in a way that exposes other teams. In Texas, they walked out of Vegas looking like one team besides UConn that can kind of dictate the game on their terms. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool to watch. And for South Carolina, they're a really good team. They're still trying to figure each other out. Like they're still trying to figure it out. How Edwards and Latson plays together. But I do gotta say, Medina Occult, I really like her. I really do. I really, really, really like her. And we'll see if there's any starting lineup changes. But I really, really like her. I really think she should stay in that starting lineup for South Carolina. And also the block shots, like shout out. I'm just saying. Anyway, shot selection could be better. Spacing could be a little bit better. And also you just got to make your layups. Like I just, even with chemistry seemingly being a noticeable issue against Texas, South Carolina still would have won had they made their layups and made their free throws. I'm just saying. So yes, do South Carolina got some stuff to work on? Yes. But still, this is a really good team. As is a really good team. All right. And then, of course, we gotta talk about UCLA. UCLA is a good team, right? They did play that second game against Duke without Lauren Betts. It didn't matter. They blew out Duke, and we'll get to Duke in just a sec. But I do just want to say, the guards need to show up a little bit more, especially against physical guards on the opposing end. Like there was a huge issue for UCLA in creating clean entry angles into the post. Huge issue. Huge issue. And it's a problem. But I got to say, shout out to Charlize Legger-Walker, who continues to play well. And also, shout out to Gianna Neepkins for joining UCLA, because I tell you, this UCLA team would be not as good as they are now, nowhere near, if Gianna Neepkins was not on this team. Like I feel like she is kind of like the bailout girl in a lot of ways, where it's like just get a ball to Gianna and have her do something. She can get to the basket, she can knock down threes, she can do a little bit of everything. All right. And then let's talk. And then also, Lauren Betts ended up hurting her wrist in that first game against Texas. She did end up finishing out the game, but she did miss the game against Duke. That second game of the tournament against Duke. But she did just play yesterday, so it seems like Lauren Betts is seemingly okay. She played yesterday in the game against Tennessee. More on that game in just a sec. But yeah, that's something to know. And then finally, let's talk about Duke, who, I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. This is tough for me to say because I have a lot of memories of of Duke. I remember like the Gail Gaston course days, the Lindsey Harding days, Duke was amazing back in the day. Guys, Duke is down bad. Down real bad. They're in trouble. There are stretches when you see some sort of life. Like, for example, in that South Carolina game, I thought that Duke played relatively well. And then there are times where they just look atrocious. Like against UCLA. Here's the thing. Duke is a team that cannot shoot. They can't shoot. They cannot shoot. They cannot shoot. I don't know how many times I got to say this, but if you did not know, Duke cannot shoot. Okay? So for a team like Duke that can't shoot, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do when you have a team that cannot score? Well, you keep shooting threes. When I tell you, man, Duke, they shoot so many threes for a team that cannot shoot. It was like I ended up recording the games, and I don't think I put out the second one yet. I will probably today. But there was so many times I was like, "Will y'all stop shooting? You can." Ashlyn Jackson is probably the best shooter on the team. Probably. She's probably the best shooter on this team. But this team just shoots three after three after three. In my opinion, kind of knowing they're going to miss. Like, what's the point? And I think it's important for us to, and important for me to adjust our expectations, adjust our thought process when it comes to Duke. Duke is no longer, I mean, they haven't been for a while, but like they continue to show that they are not the Duke of the past. They are not a top 25 team. They're not even a top 30 team. This team is not good. Yes, you do have Toby Fournier, who, in my opinion, is a really good player. Doesn't really seem like it, though, at Duke. Doesn't really seem like it. And I gotta say, Duke, yes, they don't have the best roster. But they have a better roster than how they're playing, I should say. They have a better roster than what we are seeing out there. Because it doesn't seem like they're running plays. It doesn't seem like they have any real offensive rhythm. They don't have any depth. They're just bad. They're just bad. So now they're 3-5 on the season. They're going to continue to skid as we go from here. This is just a reminder to myself that, like, dog, this Duke team is not the same old Duke team. When we talk about top teams, Duke should not be in anyone's mouth. They shouldn't be. They're not good. They're not. And I don't see any signs of hope for this team in the future. I just don't. I really don't. I really don't. They do play LSU this week, and we'll see what happens on that. We'll see how bad of a blowout that's going to be. But yeah, I mean, against any seemingly decent team, they falter, right? They lost against Baylor, which is a really good team. They lost against South Carolina, really good team. Lost against UCLA, really good team. But they also lost against West Virginia, who is a good team, but shouldn't have beat Duke the way they did with 5 players in the entire second half. I'm just saying. All right, let's move on. Let's stop talking about Duke. Let's stop talking about Duke, and let's talk about the team they're about to play this week, and that is LSU. All right, LSU, guys, is continuing their dominance over not so good teams. And, hey, LSU is LSU. And the reason why I picked this photo, because I just thought this was an awesome photo. Like, I just personally thought this was an amazing, amazing photo of Kim Mulkey, because who doesn't want to see Kim Mulkey dance? I'm just saying. I am just saying, guys, if you all do not know, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that LSU has almost scored 1,000 points, and they're not even 10 games into the season? All right. They have scored 896 points throughout their first 8 games. Of course, they're 8-0. Here's the thing. Now, LSU fans, don't be like, oh, Quita's hating on me, hating on our team. No, I'm not. Just saying. This is the first time ever that this has happened in D1 history where you're scoring these crazy amount of numbers right off the get-go. So NCAA record, cool, right? Yes, cool, pretty cool. And LSU, they end up, of course, surprise, not really a surprise at all. They end up winning the Reef Division Championship at the Paradise Jam tournament. Not a surprise. It is what it is. They end up taking down, most recently, they took down Washington State. Final score was 112-35. I mean, yeah, they're just cruising down the street in they 6-4. Dropping 100 and slapping the competition. All right. Anyway, they're doing their thing. Here's the thing. I can't really give any real analysis about LSU because we haven't seen tough competition yet. So LSU looks really good, but I need to see them play better teams to really be able to tell how good this LSU team is. Yeah, they're ranked number 5. I don't think that ranking changes anytime soon. But yeah, so LSU is doing great. And also, I don't know how good they are. I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing the games. I'm seeing them dominate, sure. But how good that really is in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Okay? So yeah. Also, random fun fact about this. The last record for triple digit games was 6 games in a row. And that was set by Kim Mulkey, actually. Did you know that? In 1982, Louisiana Tech, they went 6 games scoring 100 or more points. And that was the record for the women, for the NCAA. Now, LSU has broke that with Kim Mulkey as their head coach. When, it's kind of cool that Kim Mulkey broke her own record, basically, because she was a player at Louisiana Tech. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. Also, they did win the NCAA championship that year in 1982. Will this LSU team win the NCAA championship? I don't know, because I don't really know how good they are. But I can say this: they're putting up some fantastic numbers. My Lady Fulwiley looks really good, right? I don't know. We'll see what happens, okay? We will see what happens. All right? Because we're not seeing the actual real bag of LSU. Like we're not seeing it, because why would Kim Mulkey show all her cards against not so good teams? So as we start to head into SEC play, that's when we'll see likely the full bag of LSU, the full offensive and defensive bag. Right now, we're not seeing it. All right. But they do play Duke this week, so that's something. But also Duke is not very good. But Duke is significantly better than the other teams they played this year, so that's something. But the real test is going to be in January. All right, the real test is in January against Kentucky. That'll be the first real test for LSU, and we'll really be able to see how good they are during that. No shade to LSU. They're a good team. I just don't know how good they are. I don't know how good they are because we just haven't seen the toughest of competition. So are they overrated? I don't know. Are they underrated? I don't know. All I know is they look really, really good against the teams they played against. We'll see. We'll see ultimately what that means in the grand scheme of things. All right. All right. Let's move on and let's talk about Iowa State's Audi Crooks. Y'all, Audi Crooks is just putting on a show for us this year. Audi Crooks is a player who has already had a big game this season, right? If y'all remember, a little while ago, like 2 weeks ago, Audi Crooks ended up scoring. She ended up scoring 43 points in a game against Valparaiso. And that was big, right? Big time game for Audi Crooks. She's great. Shot 78% from the field, dropped 43 points. Fantastic for Audi. But you could say, oh, it's against Valparaiso. Doesn't mean as much. Yesterday, we saw Iowa State take on Indiana. And they participated in the Coconut Hoops tournament. And this was the championship game for the Blue Huron division. All right, so championship game, IU, Iowa State. And what we proceeded to see, ladies and gentlemen, was once again Audi Crooks putting on an absolute show. Absolute show. Because this is seemingly what Audi Crooks does. She's just great. She is just absolutely great. And it shows. This is someone who is averaging 27 points per game for Audi Crooks. 27 points per game in 25 minutes per game. So every 25 minutes, she's scoring more points than minutes she's in for. And yesterday, against IU, who is definitely tougher competition than what Iowa State has played so far this year. Is IU top 25? No, but they are better than what Iowa State has played. 47 points for Audi Crooks. Let me repeat that. 47 for Audi. She broke her own school's record for the second time this month, going 19 of 25 from the field. She is someone who is looking really, really good, right? Audi Crooks has a really good touch. She has really good footwork. She has been working on her timing and her patience in the post, and we're seeing it. We are absolutely seeing it. Now, I can't wait to see Iowa State play tougher competition as time goes on. But what we are seeing from Audi is really awesome to see. is really, really cool. Iowa State is 9-0 on the season. Right? They have not lost a game. Now, to be fair, similar to what I said with LSU, I am looking to see them play more tougher teams. Right? So far, yes, Audi and Iowa State has looked really, really good. But the toughest competition they've had so far this year has been Indiana. Before that, Mercyhurst, Marquette, Drake, Norfolk State, Valparaiso, Sacred Heart, Southern. Like, these are not the toughest of competition. And so I am most looking forward to Iowa State playing Iowa on December the 10th. Like, to me, that's going to be the big game to determine a whole bunch of stuff. But I got to say, what I'm seeing right now from Audi is great. I think she's a very, very good player. She has been a very good player. Remember, guys, this is not her first rodeo, right? This is her third year in college. And she is steadily improving. Guys, her freshman year, she averaged 19 points per game. Last year was 23. Now, so far, she's at 27. Now, will that continue as the season goes on? Maybe. You know, as they get into Big Ten play, maybe. Or not Big Ten play, because Iowa State is in the Big 12. Iowa's in the Big Ten. Anyway, as they get into conference play, will that go down a little bit? It might. But I do think that having a player to bounce off of, like a Jada Williams, is going to prove a bigger benefit for Iowa State. Now, again, we got to wait until they play Iowa to really see how good Iowa State is. But what I'm seeing, I like it a lot. I really like the way Jada is playing with both Addie and Audi. It's fantastic to see. They needed a point guard who can score and pass at a high level. And so far, that's exactly what Jada Williams is doing. And it's great to see. So shout out to Iowa State. Shout out to Audi Crooks for just continuing to put up numbers after numbers after numbers after numbers. However, we can't get too ahead of ourselves because, again, I don't totally know how good this Iowa State team is. We will be able to tell a whole lot more. We will be able to tell a whole lot more as we head into the remainder of the season. All right. Okay. All right, next up, let's continue this show. Next up, I do want to continue to talk about how crazy of a week this past week has been. And I want to talk about Harvard, who made school history. For the first time, Harvard women's basketball has beaten an SEC team. Shout out to Harvard, okay? We saw over the weekend, we saw Harvard women's basketball take down Arkansas. Now, is Arkansas one of the best teams in SEC? No, but still SEC team. It's a big deal. And for the first time, Harvard took down an SEC team when they took down Arkansas 69-51. The team was super excited about this win. Here's the thing. Harvard has been on the rise for a while. We've been talking about them, especially when we head into March. Like, Harvard is one of those teams that is talked about because Harvard and Princeton, for that matter, have been two teams, two of the Ivy League teams that have really stood out in women's college basketball. And yes, these ladies are smart. They're doing their thing, but also they can play some basketball. And I gotta love to see it. right? Y'all remember Harmony Turner, right? Who played at Harvard. You know, she's graduated, right? Moved on. But they do have a really cool core of players who are making stuff happen. And I just wanted to give a overall shout out to Harvard women's basketball for making school history and taking down an SEC opponent. Now, again, is this the toughest team in the SEC? No, but still got to talk about it. Okay, still got to talk about it. All right. All right. One other thing I did want to talk about. Is a incident that happened after the Tennessee and UCLA game. So after the game was over, we ended up seeing, you know, the handshake line. Like this is what normally happens. Handshake line. And we see everybody line up, and then the coaches shake the other coaches' hands, and then they shake the other team's players' hands. It's just a thing that normally happens. It's pretty standard, right? Does it always happen? No, there are some times when like the handshake line doesn't actually happen, but like for the most part, it happens in college basketball, right? You shake the other team's hand, and that's the thing. But in this case, we did see Janiah Barker, who is a former UCLA player. Remember, guys, Janiah Barker was in the SEC, left to go to the Big Ten or UCLA last year. It was, in my opinion, not the best move for her because Janiah Barker went from being a pretty dominant player to being a kind of bench player who didn't really get a chance to really show what she could do on the court. Because Janiah Barker is one of the most, like, she's extremely athletic, and someone that, in my opinion, kind of was buried in a sense with UCLA. She just didn't fit. She didn't fit with UCLA at all. So she was with UCLA last year. She made the decision to leave UCLA and go to Tennessee, which is, in my opinion, a better fit for her than UCLA was. But, you know, game happens. We did see Janiah really trying her best to do whatever she could to help her team be successful. Now, of course, UCLA won 99-77. There was a point in the fourth quarter where I was like, "Oh, are we about to see an epic Tennessee comeback?" Because Tennessee, like, they started off the quarter with like 10-0 or something like that. But ultimately it didn't work out. But Janiah Barker was cooking, right? She was like, "Nah, I'm taking this personal. I'm going against a former team of mine. And I'm about to show up and show out." And she did her thing. 25 points for Janiah Barker. Did she shoot efficiently? Relatively, you know. Knocked down a big time three where she was on she knocked down a three and she was like on the ground, like, you know, holding the three. Anyway. Really good game for Janiah Barker. And it was clear that she was giving the game a little extra oomph, right? Probably because of her history with the team. And I don't know what happened there. I'm not speculating. I don't know. But what I do know is this wasn't a good look. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. And after that was out there, we did see Janiah post on Twitter. She says, "Respect. We shook hands. I wish nothing but the best for Coach Corey and my UCLA fam." I don't totally understand that tweet because, I mean, you didn't totally really shake hands at all. Like, you just you kind of did, but then I don't know. I just think it was a bad look. I do. I think it was a bad look. But hey, it is what it is. There's stuff that we don't know. So I have no idea what the exact situation was at UCLA. All I do know is that this was not a good look. This was, in my opinion, a pretty bad look. And it kind of sucks that when stuff like this happens, that's what gets put on social, and that's what trends, right? Instead of the awesome game that was had by Janiyah, it's Janiyah refuses to do a handshake with her former coach. And so, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge it because it happened, but don't want to spend much time on it. All right, anyway, let's move on and let's talk about a team that we have talked about, but I feel like we haven't probably talked enough about. And that team is Maryland. So Maryland is continuing to pick up wins. This team is currently 9-0 on the season. Maryland is fun. Maryland is a really, really fun squad. They got Brenda Freeze as their head coach, and I feel like Brenda Freeze is one of those coaches that is always able to reinvent their roster and find success. And the Maryland Terrapins are doing exactly that this year. Now, they have played a ranked team already, right? They played Kentucky last week, and they ended up taking them down 74-66. But I'm really, really looking forward to Big Ten play because I do think that Maryland is going to give UCLA a run for their money for the Big Ten championship. They look really, really good, right? This is a team that has the likes of Kayleen Smichael, right? Who is continuing to do her thing with this team. You have Yarding Garzone from IU who came over through the transfer portal. You got Oluchi Kanawa who came over in the transfer portal, right? You have some Sailor Poffenbarger. You have some good players on this team for Maryland. And I gotta say, they're looking good. They're looking very, very, very good. What happens in the Big Ten? I tell you, I think it's going to be UCLA versus Maryland. Because Maryland's looking great. So I'm just saying. Watch out for Maryland. Charles says Maryland is the most overlooked and disrespected team in the top 10. I don't know, possibly. I mean, they're a really good team. They're a really, really good team. All right. And finally, I do have an update on the CBA. All right. And the update is that we have an extension, ladies and gentlemen. So the current WNBA CBA, or the previous WNBA CBA, it was initially put on it was supposed to end at the end of October of 2025. Then at the last second, we got an extension. We got a 30-day extension. And so the new end for that extension was November the 30th. And yesterday, happened. And in the morning, I was like, okay, well, is the WNBA going to say something? Do we have a new CBA? Are the players going to agree to something? It didn't look like it. It looked like both sides were still very, very, very much far apart. And it made me wonder, okay, what are we going to see now? Because are we going to just see a stoppage of work in the WNBA? Are we going to see an extension? There didn't seem to be a ton of reporting. And so I just wasn't really sure what was going to happen for the WNBA. But we did end up seeing late yesterday, or at least I saw it late yesterday, a extension for the CBA. So the WNBA and its players have agreed to a 40-day extension on the CBA. All right. So the CBA now is going to end on January the 9th. Now, again, they're just keep extending it. Now, in the past, we did see for the last CBA, it was extended into January, and that's when the agreement was made. So this is not unprecedented, but we are in a different situation than we were before with the last CBA. The reason why is because there are 2 new teams entering the WNBA next year. And while they can operate and they can do the draft and they can make some stuff happen, here's the thing, though. It puts the WNBA in a precarious situation to move forward with a expansion draft, move forward with free agency, move forward with stuff. Move forward with getting a schedule locked down while the CBA is still not solved. It's still not solved. So we did see from ESPN, they reported that the players proposed a 6-week extension. And the league wanted a 21-day extension. So they met at 40 days as an extension. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But I don't know. I personally, I don't feel good about this. I don't at all. I really don't feel good about this. I think that this is a bad sign. A really, really bad sign for the WNBA. So yeah, that's the most updated news from the WNBA. The WNBA, they're saying, hey, we're gonna increase your salaries, we're gonna increase benefits, we're going to make stuff better for players, and players are saying it's not enough. Right? We last heard about a rev share agreement that could offer players upwards of $1.1 million and give a minimum to players of $220,000. Players said no to that. They were not interested in that proposal. And so, yeah, we'll see. We will see what happens with this. I don't know if the WNBA is actually willing to give players what they want. Right? This is just a bad. This is, and I gotta tell you, this is worse for the WNBA than it is for players. It is. This is worse for the WNBA. The reason why is because players, there are other options. There are. Now, will some players' pocketbooks hurt if there wasn't a WNBA season next year? Yeah, but there's lots of other options, right? Players do have overseas. Players do have Unrivaled. Players do have Athletes Unlimited. Players do have this new Project B thing. Now, of course, is Project B for everybody? No, it's for the top players, right? Is Unrivaled for everybody? No, it's for not for maybe the higher level type of players. And Athletes Unlimited isn't paying as much as the others. But I do think it's possible for players to get by. I think the WNBA could wind up fully collapsing if this next season does not happen. And so, in a lot of ways, this is a pay them what they want, or else your league may be shot. It may be shot if you don't move forward in a meaningful way according to the players. Now, ref share is a sticking point. It's a huge sticking point for players. Huge. And the WNBA does not fully own itself, right? The NBA owns a huge portion of the WNBA, and then you have outside investors, and the WNBA owns a portion. They don't have that much to work with as some other leagues do. And so it makes rev share pretty difficult. But they got to figure out something. Tisha says, who is going to buy... Let me... There we go. Tisha says, who is going to buy merch, tickets, travel, when they don't even know if there will be a season? All sides will be hurting the... Oh, sorry. All sides are hurting the league by drawing this out. Well, yeah. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. K-Jack says both sides have to give and take. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Manny says it's negotiations. You never give straight what people want. They will always try and bring things to a middle. Just like this extension, they came to a middle. WNBA knows if they cave, they lose. Yes. But you also got to understand leverage in negotiations. I actually think players have way more leverage than the WNBA has. Way more leverage. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. It would be a disaster. It would be a disaster for women's sports, period, actually. I mean, because the top of women's sports, minus tennis, and minus probably golf, the top of women's team sports is the WNBA. It is. It's a fantastic league, but it's not looking good. It is not looking good. Kira says Project B will be hard to actually attend games of your favorite players. So, yeah, I mean, here's Project B. Yeah, it's going to be largely overseas, and so you're largely just going to be watching the games on TV, which is going to be interesting because time zones and whatnot. Are you really going to be watching games at 2 a.m. because it's 7 p.m. Across the world where the game is being played? And so Project B does have some stuff to work out. They do. Rosalie says WNBA should be trying to buy their shares back from their individual investors instead of trying to buy a WNBA team back Connecticut. Yeah, we'll get into Connecticut. We got to talk about Connecticut. Because there's a slight update for you all on that front. Anyway, that's the stream. Thank y'all so much for watching. This was a kind of a longer stream than I had intended, only because I feel like I haven't really, I don't know. I feel like I've been like MIA of sorts. Not really, but kind of. Honestly, guys, I did go through a period of like severe burnout over the last couple of weeks. And so like, that's been a thing. But I think I am better. And I think Vegas was actually really good for me to kind of just kind of reset a little bit and get back to like the joy of women's basketball in a lot of ways. And so that was really awesome. So expect to see awesome videos to come. But yeah, really appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. Can I give a huge shout out? Huge shout out to everybody I met in Las Vegas. When I tell you, I was telling my parents, I was like, man, it was so cool to meet you all in person. To the awesome people of the internet in real life, I really enjoyed meeting y'all. Thank y'all for stopping me and hanging out. To the awesome people of the internet, the awesome persons of the internet who took me to dinner, took me to the airport, took me to breakfast. I really do appreciate it. Like truly, it was like, sometimes where you're like doing something and you just kind of just get in the lull of just doing it, and it's just like you like doing it, but at the same time, like some of that joy kind of like went away. It got back. It came back over last week during the Vegas trip, and so shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for just being so kind and just being awesome. Because yeah, I know you're awesome because you're an awesome person on the internet, but like being so awesome in real life, I really do appreciate it. And so thank y'all so much. And I will be back in Vegas. Yes, I will be back. I will be going to a game. A Las Vegas Aces game, because actually, guys, I really do like Vegas. It was kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever like really traveled during like the Chicago winter before, because this year actually, I went to I think was it February? I think I went to Miami, but like it was like fine weather in Chicago when I went, and so it was an odd winter. But this year, went to Vegas, came back. It was like, I went from like 70 something degrees or whatever to 20 when I came back. Because I came back to Chicago on Friday morning. Next day, bunch of snow on the ground. It's very, very cold. Day after that, I now have to pick up the dogs to walk them because it's too cold for them or whatever, but they refuse to put on shoes. And they refuse to put on jackets. And so like, that's a whole thing. Anyway, I actually really like Vegas. I was telling my mom, I was like, what if I was like what if I eventually was able to be a snowbird or whatever, where I leave in the winter and then come back when the weather's nice. Like, because I was like, man, I actually really enjoyed it. Guys, I had a t-shirt on Thanksgiving. Didn't feel like Thanksgiving at all, actually, in Vegas. But I wore a t-shirt. No sweatshirt, a t-shirt for Thanksgiving. And I was like, isn't this amazing weather? And I come back and now I'm cold. And here's the thing. I've been here my whole life. So like I'm used to it, but I'd never experienced the dramatic shift. The dramatic shift. As I did this recent time. And I was like, man, you know what? If I could eventually, get some money or whatever and figure out a way to do this, I would, dog, in a heartbeat. I would be gone in a winter. I would be gone. I tell you. Oh man. Barbara says, I'm glad you had a good time here in Vegas. I want to meet you next time you come to Vegas. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, thank you, Tisha. I appreciate it. It says, Quita, you are reaping the love that you give. Thanks for creating this wonderful space. Well, thank you all for making this space wonderful. And again, for being awesome. Molly says, being kind and awesome in real life is a flex. Facts. Because there are some people who are really nice on the internet and are jerks in real life. Or are, and so it is a huge flex to be really kind in person. And so shout out to the awesome people on the internet for being who I met who were really, really kind and awesome in person. And sorry, I did not get to speak to as many, like it was we had like an impromptu meetup outside, like in the, I don't know what that's called, like right outside like the seating area, like where the concourse, is that what it's called? Anyway, we had like a impromptu sort of like hangout, which was really awesome. But I didn't get to talk to everybody as much as I wanted to, and so I hope to see you all again and be able to have hours long conversations about women's basketball, because it was very nice to meet you all. Henry says, Quita dreaming of Cancun. Actually, no. Actually, I have zero desire to go to Cancun. Zero. I'm not a tropical weather person. Like, I'm not. Like, I don't need to really, I don't go in the water. Like, I'm not a water person. And so I have no desire to actually go to Cancun. If I ever went, that'd be cool. Maybe if I went, I would love it. But like right now, I don't. Like, I just want to be somewhere that's like relatively warm. Like Vegas was like warm. And so that's what I want to do. That's what I would do. I think that'd be really, really awesome. But again, maybe in like 20 years when I got some money. Maybe in like 20 years when I got some money, I can make that happen. I don't know. El Kude says, I'm nice online and kind of mean in real life. That's hilarious. Oh, I guess it is a vestibule. Isn't it a vestibule? I don't know. I've only really heard vestibule said in at like a church, like it's like outside the sanctuary, like the go outside in the vestibule, or right? Isn't that a thing? Anyway. I gotta go. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank y'all so much for hanging out and just being awesome people. Truly appreciate it. I feel refreshed. I feel ready to go. We about to hit the ground running with some fantastic videos. So thank you. Also, if you all want, I will put out the rest of my Las Vegas videos. All right. And if y'all haven't, check them out. Okay. Check them out. Fams says, did you watch the America Cup 3 Extreme games? I did not, but I will today. So that I intentionally did not talk about that, even though I know the result. I didn't talk about it because I didn't watch it. And so I'm going to watch it today and then report back tomorrow. All right. All right. Yeah, if I ever go somewhere, I will absolutely just walk around. And I didn't go live as much as I intended, mainly because my my data was kind of up on my phone plan, and so yeah, so I had to kind of stop going live, and then my phone was about to die, and so it was a whole thing. Anyway, see y'all next one. Till next time, guys. Bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.